another gem in the community is the Masters University. And right now, what we have with what? I mean, who we have with us? My tongue and lip is just not working well this morning. Matt McLain is with us, and appreciate his time with us. He's the dean of the School of Science, Math, Technology, and Health, and chair of the Department of Biological and Physical Sciences, associate professor of biology and geology. You put all that in the back of the business card, right? Because it'd be pretty small on the front there. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hey, recently we did an article here at the newsroom about you finding some old bones, and they weren't old chicken bones, were they?
No, they actually weren't bones at all. It was footprints. Fossil footprints.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so I was
right, so-
interested. You know what? We talked about this last week when we went over this, and I'm like, oh, I wish we had an expert. We have the actual guy.
I know,
in
right.
the article.
Okay,
here.
so prove to me it wasn't some jokester with a
Okay,
big
so yeah, that's my whole thing is like, okay, we see some because it was mud footprints, and how do we know that these were older? Like this was not just like
Sure.
a wild animal that was roaming out there, and
Like
they
Bigfoot
just
or something.
Like Bigfoot, yeah.
like they just did it. But how do we know these are the old ones of this old animal?
So they're in rock, right? So it's a mudstone. It's like a shale kind of rock or a siltstone. And so you can actually, we can see where the layers were, and some rock that was on top of it got removed. And so you've got the original surface that's there, and you can see the tracks in the rock. So it's like, yeah, that can't be made by, I can't do that. I can't just push into a rock and make a footprint,
Now, how rare is that? Because I could only assume that it's very difficult for a mud footprint to stay preserved for so long when we have such a chaotic world of just like rain and environment just battering the ground.
Yeah, there are a lot of fossil footprints around the world, but you're right. A footprint is a pretty fragile thing, right? So you have to get it buried typically by another type of sediment pretty quickly to preserve the track that's in there. And that's probably what happened in this case.
Awesome.
And one of the I guess fossil places is almost in Sunland. There's a hill out there, or there's a place out there where are you familiar with this? Right off the freeway, and they bring kids, younger kids from high schools there to constantly go at it, dig at it, and they find little fossil pieces and what have you. And so I was thinking again, where was this found?
So this was in Vasquez Rocks, the park. So people know it for Star Trek, as we were hearing a little bit ago, and then also for
Maybe it was one
hiking.
of their creatures they left.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, back then.
And so these, as far as we know, are the first fossil tracks found actually in the park, which is pretty cool. So
wow.
it's another reason to go and visit it, check it out. You could find some amazing things out there.
So is that area now cordoned off? I mean, will you be looking for more there, or it's just?
We're going to keep looking around for more tracks. There's a good chance we'll find some other ones of different types of animals too, which is cool, but we just got to keep looking. I mean, I've been out there tons of times, and this was the very first time I found something like this.
Yeah, and one of the legends is that Vasquez Rocks is named after this bandit that hid gold out there, and his name was Vasquez. So I'm almost wondering, if you find the gold, just let us know. Let us know before.
Yeah, because you're not looking for gold; you're looking for other, right?
Yeah,
so
that's right.
It's
Different
of no
kind of
use
gold.
to you. So,
as a member of the Geological Society, it must be exciting driving around the 14 freeway, being able to see all of the mountain and the exposed rocks that are there. Because I know when I was in school, and I took geology, that's all that the professor would talk about was like the freeway here because of how much it was exposed. But talk a little bit about some of the science programs that Masters offers.
Yeah, so we have a few different science programs. We have biology and geoscience, as well as computer science and engineering and math. And in our biology program, we got a bunch of different emphases. Some people go like a pre-med route to be doctors, some go pre-nursing or pre-veterinary, and then we also have paleontology as an emphasis. And so we try to get our students heavily involved in research. We encourage them to do it while they're here as an undergrad, and so it's really cool that we had students go and present this at the Geological Society of America conference, and we had other students visit other conferences and give presentations.
how old was that imprint? Do you think?
How old was the fossil? So it is in rocks that we call Oligocene or Miocene, and so most scientists would date those at like 25 to 15 million years. At Masters University, we have a biblical perspective on creation, and so we think they're considerably younger. But we would think they're definitely before people came into America.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, it's just incredible, incredible that these are the first fossils, I guess, discovered at Vasquez Rock.
As far as we know, yeah, those are the first ones actually in the park. Yep.
Oh well, congratulations on that one.
When you take your classes, and you do take road trips, if you would, out to these places.
Sure.
And, usually, when you're just talking about what you're seeing and doing, are you looking for anything in particular? Do you ever go out and just say, "Hey, we found an over amount of, I don't know, bits and pieces from maybe early Native Americans that were here or what have you." You ever dig for things and look for stuff and show them how to do it?
Yeah, no, we do that. There's actually a spot in Newhall where you can find a lot of fossils, and we had somebody who owned the property, and we used to go out there, and it was funny because you'd find lots of seashells, sometimes shark teeth and stuff, and I told them, hey, maybe there's bones. And that time I took them, there was a giant bone just sitting on the hill,
Oh,
big
wow.
vertebra. And we actually got that one published. That bone is now in the Los Angeles Natural History Museum.
And to
very
the
cool
untrained
stuff.
eye, I bet it would just look
I
like
would've tripped
a
over
regular
that
old
thing
rock or
and
something.
thought, what's that doing here?
Yeah.
No, because you see the excavations out in Egypt and everywhere else. You know, and my God, that has got to be. You got to have the patience of a saint, because of the way I watch them, how they dig around them
With
or
the
just-
little brushes and everything,
Yeah,
and
right.
just
I mean,
slowly
brush
uncover
nothing.
it.
Give me a hammer or something to break this stuff up. But anyway, it takes a lot of patience. And and someday I'd love to have you come back and talk about that. You know, you talk about a biblical worldview, and you hear all this stuff about how many billions of years old the Earth is, and now there's new technologies that show that some of the things we thought were millions of years old are not millions of years old at all. So I'd love to have you come back and kind of touch on some of that at some point in time. We got to go. How do if people want to see some of your research or find out more about you, how do they do that?
I'd encourage them to come over to the Masters University. They can also check out the Center for Thinking Biblically, which is thinkbiblically.org. There's a lot of good videos on there. We've got some on dinosaurs and things like that.
All right, great. Perfect. All right. Well, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.